Hi everyone. So, today we're going to start the first part of carbonyl, known as the functional group aldehyde. So as you can see, aldehyde is a little bit higher up than alcohol. You notice I put a space here? Well, that's because another carbonyl group is going to slip right in there. So, um, before we look at that, let's look at how we are going to name and recognize aldehyde. Well, recognizing aldehyde we looked at last class. So today we're going to focus on how to name these aldehyde and what happens when they are in big groups. All right? So if you remember correctly, aldehyde is when you have a carbon, double bond to an O, and single bond to an H. The other side of the carbon is bonded to some sort of hydrocarbon group. It doesn't always have to be hydrocarbon. Of course, this long chain can exist other functional group as well. So whenever you see the C double bond OH, we call that aldehyde. Now let's take a look at some aldehyde that are popular and just going up the chain. So let's start. So the first course is the one carbon aldehyde. That's this one over here. One carbon aldehyde, and really that's pretty much it. Now, to name these guys, that's not a big deal. We call that methan. Now, be careful here. Okay, the name is methanal. So you replace the E with Al. Now, do not mistake it with methanol, which is a one carbon alcohol. So this A here can be easily mistaken as an O, or vice versa. But of course, they mean something very, very different. So this is methanal. Whoa, methanal. There's also there's a common name for this. And the common name you guys have already heard of is formaldehyde, which we call formaldehyde. Okay? Now, the word form in organic chemistry means one. Okay? It means one. So formaldehyde or formaldehyde is one carbon aldehyde. So, but nobody really calls, it's not that popular actually, okay, to be called methanol. A lot of people call it formaldehyde, but just to let you know, in terms of the IUPAC naming system, this is the official name. So that's methanol. All right, let's go up the carbon chain. So if you have two carbon aldehyde, like we have here, here you can see the two carbon aldehyde. Of course, this is ethanol. All right. Continue on. We have here a three carbon aldehyde. Of course, this is propanol. See? Yeah, we'll do one more. We'll do one more for the sake of this one. A four carbon aldehyde. This one is butanol, not but anal. Just to let you know. Just in case. It'd be pretty embarrassing to say it wrong. Anyway, so that's aldehyde. Okay. The trick here, of course, is recognize the C double bond O and H. Now, the good thing about aldehyde is that the terminal carbon, this is called the terminal carbon, the N carbon. It's always given as carbon number 1. Okay? Because as you can see, aldehyde, as of right now, is the most important group. So it only makes sense that the C double bond O inherit the lowest number. And guess what? In an aldehyde situation, it's always going to be the first carbon. We call terminal carbon. Okay? So I'm going to give you some lot bigger organic structure with aldehyde derivative. And when we name it, you'll notice that, oh, okay, this is pretty easy. I don't need to look for who's number 1 and who's number 2, or which side is number 1, because the side with the C double bond OH is always going to be number 1, because aldehyde always start at the terminal carbon. Got it? Okay, so let's put in some side groups. Let's clear this. I'm gonna keep the priority chart on the side, and let's take a look at some really ridiculous looking aldehyde and see if we can name them. So let's go with this one. Let's CH3 here, CH2, CH3. As you can see, these things are getting repetitive. It is. Okay. I hear. That's enough punishment, I guess. So, as I said before, it's very easy to assign numbers for aldehyde because this guy is always going to be number 1. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the case forever. As we move on the priority chart, you'll notice that there's going to be somebody who's going to be more important than aldehyde. But as of right now, aldehyde is the most important. So, here's the numbering. Okay, to name this, you name them alphabetical order. That's the way you've been doing it. So this is 5-chloro, 3,4-dimethyl. Okay, in this case, you can name the aldehyde being a 7-carbon aldehyde, so heptanal. Now, do I have to put 1 heptanal? In this case, no, because the aldehyde always take the place of number 1. All right? But of course, there is a situation, there will be a situation where you might have to locate that aldehyde. And we'll see one. Trust me, we will. All right. Hopefully you guys are comfortable with that. Let's do another one. Let's make this a long one. Hopefully you remember who this guy was. Let's do a bromine here. Let's do a diamond here. Let's do a an F here. Let's do a carbon methyl group here. All right, I guess that's enough. Okay, I hope you really get the drift. Okay, so there's your longest chain. No tricks. Okay, this guy's always going to be number 1, right? So you start numbering it sequentially. Now start naming it alphabetically. So we have here 4-bromo. 7-fluoro. Oh, actually, I made a mistake here. 4-cyclobutyl. Wait a minute. Okay, this is embarrassing. It's not like the first time I made a mistake anyways. 4-bromo. Okay. 4-cyclobutyl. There we go. Taking care of all the B's. 6-isopropyl. 2-methyl. Whew. Non-enal. Okay. Guys got it? Okay. Hopefully that was easy for you. Okay, not giving you a lot of trouble. Let's erase all of this. Okay. If you are not fast enough copying it down, of course, you can always pause this. You can do whatever you want nowadays. All right. Oh, let's take a look at this one. Hey, this one is pretty bad. You know. Here's an aldehyde. And then put a methyl group here. That will do. You probably think that's not a problem. But what if I do this? Huh. Alcohol group, huh? What am I going to do? I'll show you what you're going to do. Just give me 1 second. Let me just put in another methyl group here just to make it a little more difficult. There you go. Let's name this. Okay. This is your longest chain. This guy's always number 1. So, a 7-carbon aldehyde. But the problem is the side group. We know these guys are methyl. That's not a big deal. We've been seeing them for weeks now. But what is this? That's an alcohol group, isn't it? So what we have here is an aldehyde with alcohol side group. Or people call it an aldehyde with alcoholic substituent. What are we going to do? How are we going to name this? Are we going to name it all or al? Well, we all know we always end our name with the most important group. So what that means is that this right here, the alcohol, is like any other side group. Now, what do we call alcohol side group? We give it a name called hydroxyl, where H is used for alphabetical comparison. Okay, so in this case, we will say this is a 5-hydroxyl 3,5-dimethyl heptanal. You see? Not bad, right? Well, it is not a big deal. Okay? You'll see very soon that some of these functional groups, even aldehyde itself, one day would be a side group. Okay? We'll see that. We'll see that in a couple of days. All right. Hey, let me give you this one to name. You can pause this video and see if you can name this. There you go. How about you pause this video and you try to name this guy? All right? Okay, I guess you just unpause and let's take it up. So here's your longest carbon-carbon chain. Here's your carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so let's name this. Hopefully you got it right. So we have here 6-bromo. Okay. Then we have 7-cyclohexyl. Right? Now we're going to take care of all 3 of these guys, and just like all the other time, okay, we're going to say 3, 4, 5, trihydroxyl. 2-methyl nonenal. Okay? Hopefully you got that. Hopefully I am right. Okay. It's not like I haven't made a mistake before. So let's, check it out. All right. Hey, let's go up the difficulty. hope you guys are realizing that things are getting very repetitive now. It's like, okay, new functional group, but once I know how to name the functional group, everything seems to be very simple. That's why I said in the beginning, don't get lost. Try to follow along. Because if you are lost right now, please go back and look at my previous videos. I know they're boring, but please, you gotta look at them. Okay? They're episodic. You won't understand this video if you don't understand previous ones. Okay. Let's go up the difficulty. Here's my aldehyde. Let's put on some alcohol. Let's put in some methyl. Let's put in some ethyl. Okay? But what if I do this? What if I double bond involve? Huh? Maybe I'll do two. Another double bond involve. Why not? It's not like you haven't seen that before. So in this case, you have aldehyde, you have alcohol, you have alkene, you have alkyl, all in one molecule. Oh my goodness. Looking at this makes me want to vomit. Alright, no big deal. This is what you're going to do. You're going to select your longest carbon-carbon chain. However, you have to keep in mind that this carbon chain must consist double bond. If there's triple bond, it must also consist those triple bond. Alright? That's what you must do. Including, of course, your most important group. So, in this case, you didn't really think that was an ethyl, did you? This is your longest carbon-carbon chain. This guy is always going to be number 1. Okay. Alright, so I guess these guys are all side group. And we'll name these side group alphabetically just like what we've been doing. So here we go. 3-hydroxyl. 6,7-dimethyl. Okay, here's the tricky part now. It is an aldehyde, so you will end with al at the end. Now, how are we going to take care of these double bonds? Well, these double bonds are part of your longest chain. So, make them. Name them part of your longest chain. So you have your non, which is your longest carbon length. Dash, where are your double bonds? Well, I see them at position number 2. I see one in position number 4. And these are 2 double bonds. Right? So 2,4-diene. Anything else? No. Is an aldehyde. So we end the name with al. Now the question is, do you have to put this dash there? Well, in some textbook they do. Some textbook they don't. Okay? Some textbook likes to be organized, so they actually ditch this. So it will be a dienal. Okay? Sounds ridiculous. Looks ridiculous. But, hey, it's chemistry. Just really can't find these words in the English dictionary. You can. You have problems. But yeah. People like to put dash. Just to organize things, I like these dashes because it's organized. All right. Okay. You guys want to do this one? Just for the sake of knowing how to do one of these. Let's do some triple bond. Let's do some double bond. Let's do some methyl. Maybe 2 of them. Let's do a fluoro. Let's do a chloro. Okay, let's do a hydroxyl. Okay. All right, pause this video and see if you can name this. All right. After unpausing, Let's take a look to see if you got the name for this. So here's your longest carbon-carbon chain. I like numbering these guys. You know, you don't have to think, which way should I go, left to right or right to left? Because terminal carbon for the aldehyde is always carbon number 1 for now. All right, let's do some alphabetical order, just like kids in elementary school. So we have 8-chloro, 7-fluoro, 6-hydroxyl, 3,3-dimethyl, and none. Oh, whoa, in this none, I see double bond, I see triple bond. So remember, when you're doing this, you have to make sure that those double bond, triple bond are part of your longest chain, even though if you see a longer chain and they don't involve the double bond, that's not your longest chain. Okay, so none. Fluorine, triple bond first. We know that. Okay, 16. And al. Okay, wonderful molecule. It consists of pretty much everything in this priority chart. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll call it for the day. Hopefully you guys had a good long weekend. And let's take it easy on the first day. All right, one more. So let's straight down the middle. This one is cool. Aldehyde. Oh, aldehyde. It's a double aldehyde. Oh my goodness, who's going to be number 1? That's going to be tough to decide, huh? Put a double bond here just to make it look nice. Okay, here we go. How are we going to name this? Well, let's locate our longest chain. Okay, let's locate our longest chain. This is our longest chain. The question is, now we have a problem, because both sides has aldehyde on it, which means only one of them can be number 1. Who is he? Who's going to be number 1? Well, the trick here is this. I think we've seen this before with alcohol. If there's 2 sides that are tied, okay, you look for the first side group that exists, not the first next important side group. So you're not looking for alcohol. Some people make the mistake of, let's look for the alcohol because alcohol is next. Let's make sure he gets the lower number. No. In this case, that is true, but that's not always going to be the truth. Okay, you look for the next side group, any side group. Okay, so if you were to go this way, you're not going to hit side group until number 4. If you go this way, you'll hit side group at number 3. So we're going to go this way. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, so here it is. This is a 3-hydroxyl, 5-methyl, and oct. Is there a double bond? Yes, there is. 4-ene al. Okay, so be careful here. If there are 2 aldehyde, okay, 1 at each terminal, you look for the closest side group. Okay, the one with the closest side group will inherit the carbon number 1. So just something to that you remember. Anyway, that's it for today. Okay, so tomorrow we'll look at the second part of this carbonyl family, ketone. So see you tomorrow.